All right. Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your mail over George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. YouTube is your mail over George Page, aka. So, as you know, last weekend was the seventh annual uh, Rising Phoenix show, which is combined with the Arizona Pro and the NPC Extravaganza. And there's a debate about the Rising Phoenix. As you know, back in 2015, it was created as a replacement for women's bodybuilding when the IFBB dropped, women's open bodybuilding from the Olympia lineup. And for a good time, the ladies didn't have, just for we'll go with, they still had some other shows to do, but they didn't have a big show. So Jake Woods and his ex-wife at the time, Crystal Woods, created a new show, which was they called it the Rising Phoenix Women's Bodybuilding World Championship. And the show gave opportunities for competitors, especially women bodybuilders, to have a stage and a place to show off and to perform. It still had some shows here and there, but those shows wasn't as I would say as great compared to the Olympia or even another classic bodybuilding show, the Miss International. Back in 2013, actually 2014, that's when the heads of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic and Sports Extravaganza dropped women's bodybuilding from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. So, and for a while, the women didn't really have a stage. They had some small stages here and there because Winter Strength promoted their shows. And even though they were not per se part of the IFBB much longer, they were still IFB adjacent. So, they can still be judged by judges, but they're not, they can't be part of any other shows unless the Winter Strength puts, their competitors in the show for. So, as you know, the Rising Phoenix became the new Miss Olympia in a way. And for a good while, it was going pretty good. But the last couple of years, it seems like now it's not as, as respectful. I would say as respectful as it used to be. For one thing is, as you know, now that Miss Olympia has returned to the Olympia stage, there's not really, some say might not really be a need for it, but it's still a good show for a lot of female bodybuilders. But here's the problem with it. It's more exclusive for certain people, certain competitors, and it's just not fair. Now, here's the problem with this is I mentioned that a lot of competitors compete to get, now that with the return of Miss Olympia back to Olympia weekend, a lot of competitors want the chance to compete at the Miss Olympia. Now, the ones who won their shows, and also, they have a point system, which means you're qualified by points. The top three qualifiers with the highest points automatically go in. And then you have all the other competitors who won their individual shows. And also, you have the ladies who won the Rising Phoenix. Was last year when it was when they made the announcement that the top five ladies from the 2019 Rising Phoenix was able to compete at the Miss Olympia. So that was good. Oh, hello to my sister, Miss Fishiana. I appreciate you coming by. Check out Miss Fishiana Fights. She talks about boxing. We often used to talk quite a bit at the liquor spot. I kind of miss her over there. We really her cool when we do a little flirting. But we appreciate for coming by and listening. So, as I was saying, it was considered, a show for almost every competitor. You had to win your shows, that's what the plan. The plan was you had to win your shows, and you get to come to Rise of Phoenix. You go like this. It was based on the point system. The winner automatically comes to Rise of Phoenix, and depending on how many points you had earned, if you like second place, most times second place, depending on how big the show is, If you're second place at a show like the Tampa or the Chicago, where the numbers are a lot bigger, you automatically, it all it takes is 8 points. You're automatically in for the Rising Phoenix. Now, I think with the Olympia, it has changed. But like I said, still the same, that depending on the top three competitors for that show who earn their points qualify for the Olympia. But it seems like, it's not fair that now that the last Rising Phoenix show, all the competitors were who already earned their pro card, who already earned their qualification for the Olympia, which means four out of the top five competitors who won the Olympia last year competed. Andrew Shaw, the who's both two-time two-time Rising Phoenix champion and the current Miss Olympia. Helen Trufino, the former two-time Olympia champion. Uh, Myla Ash, who took fourth place, who switched from physique, who earned her card by winning the New York Pro last year, and Irene Anderson, who placed in the top five at the Rising Phoenix. I think she was, no, Irene was like, no, I think it was, yeah, she placed, yeah, top five at the 2019 Rising Phoenix, which gave a shot to compete at the 2020 Olympia. But, this year, it was pretty much about the same competitors. Originally, the plan was about 19 competitors, 19 ladies. But some ladies dropped out. Some ladies didn't come. Like one point is like the Miss International champions. Back in 2017, the IFBB, not we IFBB, I think it's Rings of Strength, created the Miss International, which was a pro qualifier, and it earned ladies the right to earn the pro card. The last couple of winners have been like people like Una Hibbick, my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams, Susanna Jacobs, I believe also Patty Hansen, and most recently Sandra Herwin. And this year, Sandra was the first time that we did not see a Miss International competitor compete at the Rising Phoenix. I don't know, maybe she felt like her physique wasn't enough, or just financial issues. But like I said, we just reach out to her, maybe help her out, assist her, because But we all know there was a certain competitor at that show that they want to really be the Rising Phoenix, the Miss International champion, but she didn't, for whatever reason, she didn't really make it. To me, she didn't really have a great physique for bodybuilding. I think Erica Hardy, if you know by another name, that's some of your appearances you follow her online. But to me, she really, wasn't a bodybuilder. She looked more closer to figure, not even really physique. And she did really maybe put on some size and work on the development. And the funny thing is, this chick is a Wing of Strength ambassador, but don't have a pro card. Now, explain to me, how are you a Wing of Strength ambassador? Right, other ladies who are pros, and but she's the one who has not, I never understand. But anyway, as you know, the show was going to be like 19 ladies. A couple of ladies dropped out for personal reasons. Other dropped out because the fact was that they lived outside the country. That's Virginia Sanchez and Saba Mate. And they couldn't make it because of, it's too expensive. And, and they rather save their opportunity for the qualification for the Olympia. And that's smart. But then it was correct, that 16 ladies. Out of the 16, only, I would say, technically 4 or 5. Well, 3, actually 2, would say, because of the situation where the other competitors had dropped out for whatever reason, 2 competitors actually qualify for the Olympia. That is Nikki Chartrand and Natalia Kovalova, because they both tied for 3. Because, like I said, when I found out Stephanie Flesher, she dropped out for some personal reasons. Monique Jones, she dropped out. Alicia Young dropped out. and also Christina Mendoza dropped out. So those two ladies who's still on the list with points have jumped into second and third place behind Janina Kowski, who has 16 points, who earned her points by three shows when she took second at the Norfolk, which I feel like she should have won that show. She took third at the Tampa, and also she took second at the Savannah Pro show. So which that gave enough points. I think she has 16, 17 points, and then competing here this show, where she didn't need enough points, but she already has a qualification. Now, with the other ladies, like I said, the other four ladies, they are one of the top five, four of the top five contenders: Andrea Shaw, Helen Trevino, uh, Mala Ash, and Irene Anderson. To me, they should take a step back because and we already knew. I knew automatically that Andrea was going to win that show. There's no doubt about it. Unless somebody came in better conditioned than her, I ain't seen anybody win. I'm a fan of Helen Trevino. She's impressive, but she wasn't as uh, defined and wasn't as put together in some parts. Upper body part, but you turn around a little bit, you see it's just still not as shredded like it should be. And then some other ladies who I follow who earned their qualification, such as Michaela Aycock, Mona Pasella, Shauna Boswell, Sheena Olick, Leah Denny. Who else who earned their qualification? Those ladies right now, I'll take off, who won the qualification from the Omaha, the Ladami Day. Don't forget Ladami Day. Michaela won the Omaha. Leah won the New York show. Ladon was given the Norfolk show. I'm gonna say it's given. Sheena won the Chicago. Uh, you know, Rashana, she won the Savannah, and Mona won the Tampa. Now, right there, that's 10 women who, well, I would say, had pretty much already going to be at the Olympia. The four of the top five, and six that won the show. And then, like I said, you have Janina Kowski, who placed 16th. Who's 16th on the scoreboard. Okay, so there you go. It's 11. Then, because that the other competitors dropped out of for the season, Nikki Chartrand and Natalia takes and leaps into the top three qualification. And and that's right there, 13. So it only leaves truly three women who needed an opportunity to qualify for the show, and that is Asha Hadley, Angela Rayburn, and my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams. Tina, she didn't do too well. I think Tina took 14th or 15th in that show. I gotta look and check. I'll be certain. Asher took sixth. I like Lady Dini, but some feel like some people like me are saying like, how Lena Dini go over Asher. I looked at some of the pictures of Lena. Lena looked pretty good, but I just feel like I don't know how she did it. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Lena Dini, but I don't know. I'm just being. I'm not a fan. I'm not being a judge. I'm being a fan, and and it just seemed like I thought most definitely Asher would make top five. But that wouldn't have qualified her. It should have. I don't know. She used to, top two. I think now qualify for the Olympia. So, if Asha or Tina, or even Angela took first place, they would have automatically qualified for the Rising Phoenix show. But it didn't happen. So, but here's the thing is. As you know, the Rising Phoenix show has become an invitational. It took the place of it was originally a regular show where, like I said again, all competitors earn their points or win the qualification by winning their shows. But now it's for the last couple of years since 2020 to today, 2021, it has become invitational, meaning you get invited. You know, in some of the ladies where I talk to some ladies where you even just all you gotta do is like put in your send in your information and request to be invited. But some ladies have been turned down, and I don't think it's fair. I understand it's an invitation, but let's do this. And I'm gonna shout out to if anybody's listening to me who are competitors, who are you know who are working for Winter Strength. Kind of maybe not listen to me because I'm a small YouTuber. I'm already at 550 some subscribers. If I was out like something like a 10,000 subscriber or even 500 subscribers, they would listen to me. But I think you should listen to the people who have who have their feet on the ground, 10 toes down, who are true fans. What should happen is the Rings of Strength should be like all the other shows, like the Puerto Rico, like the Omaha, like the Tampa, like Chicago. You compete because you know it's the last show of the season. You compete and you earn your qualification. That should be it. That's fair, isn't it? You know, or you can use the qualification for the next year. You know, either way would work. This is what should happen: is all people who have qualified for the shows, if they qualified, if they are the top five contenders from the Olympia, or if they qualify by winning each show they were in, then it should not be in the Rise of Phoenix. It should step back and give the opportunity for other competitors who might miss out their shot of the season. Some competitors have to wait till next year. There's still a couple of shows that qualify you for it, like the Toronto and the Romania Muscle Fest. But the problem is, Canada, you're not going to get in because unless you have a valid reason, they're not going to let you come in and just complete a show and then you just go back out. And I don't know where I'm hearing you can go to Romania, but I think what it's the cost. You know, it costs some of these money to travel. If these ladies had the money, what you need, like I said, keep saying, you need sponsorship. That's why when I do my interviews, I put their, like money, like some kind of a crowdfunder or whatever, kind of a, donation they have, like the Cash Apps, the Venmos, the PayPals. Because I know, like I said, I know things are tight. It's hard to, with things between not working and sometimes it's just difficult. But it doesn't hurt to give maybe $3 or $4 every now and then. That could be enough to, put a little gas in the car, buy a little small bag of whey powder or something like that. A little donation to help. But I feel like this. Right now, I got my man Marcus Bell. He said, salute it all the way to George Page coming through, especially that light. I appreciate it, Marcus. I appreciate when anybody, my CS Combat Sports family, when anybody comes through and hit that like, I really appreciate it. Now, I was hoping that Jared come in. I sent him the email. He might be busy, but I think if, like I say, I can do this on myself solo. I used to be by myself. So, for a while till I got with Jared, I want to get his thoughts. And I'm going like this. I'm going to name some women who I feel like should have the opportunity to compete at this show. Now, there's some ladies that, some people, like I was talking with some competitors who say that some ladies, don't everybody should be invited, but you know what? If you want to compete at a show, don't make it an invitation anymore. Make it a regular, qualification show. If you're going to pick and choose who you want to invite, like one thing is, this is one thing that hurt the Miss International years ago, when Iris Kyle was competing both Miss International and Miss Olympia, because it took away opportunities for other competitors to have a title. Miss International was a great secondary title for bodybuilders who know that they may not beat like Linda or beat Iris, who were, or even back then, Linda, like still, it started in '87, so you still had the last 2 years, like I said, 87, 88, 89, the last 3 years of Corey Everson. And then you also had Kim Zavetsky. It was a great secondary title. Kim Zavetsky, who is a 4-time Miss Olympia, is the first woman to win both Miss International and Miss Olympia. All right, we got it from Fourth quarter talk. He says salute to Georgia all the way Georgia page. Thank you, fourth quarter. Fourth quarter. If you're interested in coming on, anybody who's interested want to come on, just want to talk, who will fan of bodybuilding, drop your email in the description. I'll send you a link and I'll delete it before anybody sees it. So just let me know you want to come in and talk. All right. So, as you know, Miss International was created as a secondary show for competitors that, felt like they weren't going to ever get the Miss Olympia title. And like I said, Kim Zavatsky was the first woman to have both titles in 1 year. And then you have legends like Laura Craval, who had it 2 times. Vicky Gates had it 3 times. Yakatina King, who became the second woman to hold both the Miss International and Miss Olympia in 1 year. Who was also the only woman to beat Iris Kyle as the reigning Miss Olympia. And then you had Iris Kyle, who went up 7 times, except for that 1 year where there was that situation where she had some kind of, I'm not going to say what it is, but some kind of strange little growth on her high end. But the thing is that what they said was the reason why. Oh yeah, all right, that's cool. But next time, whenever, if you want to join in, like with me and Jared, that'd be fine, because he said he can't be able to catch in. So I appreciate you coming through anyway. You got to climb the train, make that money, man. I know, make that money, because it's expensive to be a bodybuilder. But anyway, as you know, back in 2014, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, they decided to drop Miss International, which there was no other secondary title for ladies. There was another show called the Jantana, which with the Rise of Phoenix show, would combine with the Arizona Pro, was kind of representative, an all-women show, was mostly female bodybuilding. And that's one, I think, saying that ticket sales wasn't good because of the fact it was all women. And that at that time was only women's pro and I think women's amateur. And I think they may add fitness and a couple of shows, fitness to it, because back then it wasn't that many shows, just bodybuilding, and then you have the amateurs. But that show was dropped because of ticket sales. No one wanted to see women with muscle. Only a few handful fans. But then the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic say the same thing because it wasn't ticket sales. But if anybody who goes to a bodybuilding show, do they sell the tickets separately from the men's show, or is all one ticket for all the shows? Because that can't be no excuse. Even if you're selling tickets, even if there's no one barely at the women's shows, you're still selling tickets for the men. So it don't make no sense. You don't have the big crowd for the women's shows, but you're still selling tickets. If those shows are all together and you're buying one ticket for it, tell me how that makes sense. As long as you're still making money from the tickets, unless the Mr. International has separate tickets from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, that don't really make sense to me. I don't know. I've never been to a show. I always want to go one. Usually back in the day, I had the money, but didn't have the time. But now I have the time, but I don't have no money. But like I said, back to the Rising Phoenix. As you know, the Rising Phoenix became the new Miss Olympia. But 2019, when Jake Woods and Winter Strength, they bought out the Olympia, and then they brought back female bodybuilding to the Olympia stage where it belonged. As you remember back in the day, the Olympia stood on its own. It was still part of the Olympia, but it had its own crowd, own people. And then in the 2000s, they unified it with the Mr. Olympia and made the Olympia weekend. Like that, it said that women's bodybuilding wasn't that popular because the fact was ticket sales. But if that's the whole weekend, aren't you buying tickets for the whole thing? Or just buying tickets for the men's shows, buying tickets for the women's shows? That's a situation where I don't talk about. What the truth was, because Iris Kyle was winning consecutively, except for after 2005, she was winning successfully, 9 times straight as Miss Olympia. And because she was winning so much, and she wasn't liked because of her muscle and also because of her looks. She was very, too muscular for a female, not as I think sponsor says as appealing. And you feel like if I wasn't appealing in 2014, the judges could have said, what, let's give it to Alina. And I feel like this: if they gave it to Alina, I think the Miss Olympia would have kept on going. But the judges, who had the best physique, best presentation, that was Iris Kyle. They had no choice. But they could have did it. They could have did it dirty if they wanted to. You know, like I said, if you follow me on CS Combat Sports, and that's my man, Marcus Bells knows. We talk about don't leave it in the hands of judges, and that's in boxing and in MMA. You can knock somebody out, and the judges don't have no say in anything. But with a sport like bodybuilding, you know, the judges have all to say. They tell you, this, what you look like that. Some ladies, they talk to the judges after the show and ask what's wrong, what I did wrong, what I need to do, what I need this, and some the judge would tell them, and ladies would take the advice and use it. Some would take the advice and throw it like a grain of salt over their shoulder and keep on moving. Sometimes it's best to take that critique. If you feel like that hurts your feelings, then you're in the wrong sport. You're gonna be judged, like Judge Dredd said, the Stallone version. Prepare to be judged. That's you should prepare for it. But like I said, with Miss Olympia gone, a lot of ladies didn't have a platform. A platform to compete. There was a few shows here and there that still have female bodybuilding, like Tim Gardner. He still, and with Wings of Strength, they still do female bodybuilding. But there wasn't a big show, a bigger stage. So in 2015, they had the Texas Pro, which was the first Rising Phoenix show, and then they moved the show to Arizona and had it there ever since then. And then for those first 6 years, it was the Arizona Pro / Rising Phoenix / Arizona Pro, and then it became opportunity for female bodybuilders to have all women in the bodybuilding division have stage for themselves, not sharing the stage with the men. And I heard it was hard to get sponsors because many of the sponsors, if the men are not there, they don't want to back the money up for it. So we had to find sponsors that cater to women that were happy to back it up. And I saw was it in one I think I saw it in the background. So let me find it. That it had some kind of look like a bra or lingerie kind of a symbol, like some company, and they backed up Wings of Strength. I think I can find a picture somewhere. I'm going to look a little while, and that's a good thing, because they needed sponsors, but the big sponsors, I think only a handful of sponsors, maybe a few apparel sponsors, a few maybe supplement sponsors, and one sponsor sponsored the Olympia is Northern Chill, and I think it might have put a hand into helping the Rise of Phoenix, because but it's just so few real sponsors to help female bodybuilding. Like once I find out, I'll worry about it later here. But the thing is, now that the Olympia has returned, the female body has turned to Olympia. I think the Rising Phoenix should become the Miss International, meaning that it's a show where in which you earn an opportunity to compete at the Olympia, not invitational. So competitors who have already earned the qualification should step aside. And the reason why, because some don't want to step aside, is that the Rising Phoenix show has a big payday. Also, you get a car, but still, and also they had a lot of different little prizes. That's good. But this is opportunity for competitors. You should keep it, but give the opportunity to competitors who don't get the opportunity to, be at a show. Those who missed out by a point, like my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams, she missed the Olympia last year by a point. And I think she always regret not doing the Tampa. I felt like this. If Tina had done the Tampa, she probably would have got first or second. And she would have been to the Olympia. She went to Olympia, but she was working the booths. And she'd rather be on the stage. And I love her. She's a great lady. I love her and her family. I respect her. And this year she didn't make it. And she was hoping maybe this show should have been a qualifier for her. But what happened was they stacked up the chips with all the ones that have already, like the top four of the top five of the Olympia qualified winners. and the rest of the ladies who won their shows, and two or three ladies actually who qualified by points. So that list out these other three ladies who were at the show who didn't, qualify points, or like Asher Hadley. This is the only show she done. I thought she was going to do the Savannah Pro to the repeat to be the champion, but she decided to skip that show. You know, it's like this. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, you should have took a chance. I think she probably took second place, and I don't know how many points is at the points it shows like the Linda Murray is not as big compared to Chicago, Tampa, and maybe a couple other shows. I think you get 4 points at that if you take second place. So what they should have did was make this show a regular show for qualification. Either qualification because it was been about a couple of weeks since the Rise of Phoenix, and at that time the Olympia was only just a little bit like a month away, so still enough time for the winner to get ready to get prepared for that show. But we all these other ladies, they kind of stood away from competitors. Now, here what she did. Now, with Asha, Tina, and Angela, they should have been there because they didn't have points to qualify for the Olympia. Now, I did a small little list of ladies that I feel like, should have, been, big this year, should have part of the Olympia. I put down about, I would say 19, 20 women. Yeah. Now, here I'm going to start here. First off on the list, I'm going to say Tina S. Williams, and then second is Angela Rayburn. After that, Asher Hadley. Now, even though she does have 3 points, Natalia Kovalova, still could use that show as a possibility to maybe get points or to qualify for the Olympia. Julie Furry, who competed at the Tampa Bay, she took 4th place. I think she got 1 or 2 points for that show because I think the winner qualify, you got 1 point. When you take second, you take 4. You take third, you get 3, and I think the top 5 out of the top 5 ladies is from 1, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And Stephanie Fletcher was 5th, so she got a 1 point, and she was already 10 because she took 3rd at the Chicago, and also I think she competed at another show. What another show she competed? She competed Chicago. She competed at the I'm trying to think. She did the Chicago, Tampa, and you took 3rd at Tampa, which gave her, I think, Tampa had bigger numbers. I mean, Chicago had bigger numbers, and Tampa had bigger numbers. But she took 3rd at Tampa, and that gave her, I think, about 6 points, maybe 5. And then she took I think give her 9 points. I forget how much points it was. I try to find that out. If Jerry was here, tell me, because Jerry, he's the man. He's my hand of the emperor. He knows a lot of stuff. So she was able. She had 10. She had 10 points. So that means she got probably maybe 9 points from the No, if I get this correctly, if I remember, Christina Mendoza has 6 points, and that means that if she had 9 points, she had to get 4 points from another show. I'm trying to remember which show she did. I kind of forgot. She had to get 4 more points from another show, and then 1 from being at the I think the Tampa was a bigger show. I can't figure it. I wish Jerry was here. I sent him the link, but I can understand he's busy. He got a life. He's young. So anyway, we keep on going. We had my dear friend, a lady I really respect and like, and that is Jada Beverly. She should have been the show. Jada looks amazing. I think she got a really. I was talking with her. She felt like she really wasn't, able to. She should have been, and some people felt like she should have been too. She was amazing at the Savannah. Wasn't as good at the Tampa, but she still made top 10. But this show, she should at least made top 10, or I feel like she should have made top 5. But this could have been a qualification for her for the next. She get points for next year or qualification for the Olympia. Also, Gabby Vega. Miss Vega's. I've been following me and Miss Vega been talking back and forth. Messenger. Maybe someday I'd like to do an interview with her. Like I said, she told me that her Spanish is not as English is not as good. My Spanish is nil, but if I can get my dear friend Miss Alicia Florio Massa, and also there's another lady who I know who knew Spanish, they can be translators. Now, the former Miss International who competed last year, Patty Hansen, and Patty Hansen could have been there. She could have been, but I think after what happened to her in Chicago, I saw that video. Some my man Jonas Strong he posted a while back. Oh, she might need some time off. So I think I scratch her. Akima Jones took fourth place and won Best Poser at the Chicago. She's a beautiful lady, beautiful Cuban lady, amazing. I think she should have been at that show too. See Kim Buck. Kim Buck's been kind of quiet. She's been doing some booth stuff. I think the last couple of shows, but she hadn't competed. For one information I know about Kim, and I know she takes care of her father. He's not doing well, so she probably took a step back. Even though she's an ambassador, she didn't compete. Jay Fuchs. So the thing with Jay is she's over there in, Switzerland, and for her to come here and compete, she has to do a quarantine. And a big thing is it has to be worth her time to come here. She has to either win the show, or I think this show is second place. She's automatically going to be at the Olympia. So she has to. That's what happened is she has to win the show, or she has to win it. Truthfully, Jay Fuchs has to win that show to qualify for the Olympia. And so like I said, she's the one to travel, so scratch Jay Fuchs off. Hunter Henderson, who took second place at the Tampa. You got to think about it. It's about points. So Tampa, depending on how big the points are, she maybe got sixth place, 6 points. I got to look, if, like I said, Jared's here, he'll tell me that, how many points that Hunter had. Maybe it was enough where she could, all she needed was just maybe a couple more points to qualify for the, Olympia. That means whoever who was, in the lead, whoever's in the bottom, whoever the top three was, she didn't get enough to jump over. At the time, it was, it's a Geneva Couch is number 16. She had 16 points, so no one's going to get after her. You still had Stephanie Fisher with 10 points, and you had Monique Jones with 8. Now, also, Monique had 9, and Alicia Young had 8. And if she can get over Christian Mendoza at 6 and get enough of that show to qualify, boom, she's in. Now, next up, I said Jessica Martin. Here, I'm going to scratch Jessica off because that week she got hit by the virus, so she was out. But if she could have made it, because she's also Wing Strength Ambassador, she would have been there. She took second at the Omaha show, so there's a good chance they would have invited her to the Rising Phoenix. She can come 6th, so I have to scratch her off. So Tana Hugh, my dear friend Tana Hugh, a beautiful lady. She lives in Canada, and that's another thing that happens. She can do like what Mona Porcella did, do a quarantine and come in, but that's expensive, and she can't afford it. If she could, she would do it. And maybe if she qualifies or wins the show for the Olympia, smart thing to do is stay here. You can find, I think, a couple of ladies I looked up on, like Mona Porcella and Irie Anderson. They're staying in Texas because they got to wait for the Olympia. There's no point for her. There's no point for Mona to go back all the way to Canada and come back. You got to do no quarantine, and then you have to get in shape, and she didn't want to mess up her opportunity. Lady, my friend is Maria Flores. Miss Flores, she recently just dropped me that she might be retiring next year. Might not see her next year, and that's she's a beautiful lady, a great mother, a great wife, a military service person. I want to thank her for her service. I would love to see her compete at the Rising Phoenix, but if she's gonna think about retiring, I'm gonna miss her. So next up is Jeannie Welker. Now Jeannie Welker took 3rd place at the Savannah Pro Show, and she was pretty impressive. I was kind of having my doubts about her, but I looked at some pictures she got put out, and she was impressive. She looks impressive. She has the kind of look. She has a your a European look to her. Kind of like she kind of looked like I saw with a picture beside her and Alina Popa, and she kind of looks a little bit like Alina. She has that look to her, and I think she would have done great if this was a regular, um, you know, qualification show. So that's good toss it. After her, Lisa Caudre from Canada, she looked pretty good at the show. She took fourth at the Savannah, and I think she should have got opportunity. This is her being both them being their first bodybuilding show, switching physique. I think Winter Swift probably like these ladies and should have a chance to compete. But I know she's back in Canada, and then, but if she could get it was like it was now with the whole thing with the virus messed up the world. A lot of competitors just hit a plane, be here, be back. But for Canada, you have to go in quarantine for 2 weeks, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks back, and that's how it is. Next up is my dear friend Miss Stacy Nunez. I like Miss Nunez. I like to thank her for her service. I enjoyed our interview, and I think she should have been offered an opportunity. It just could be a way for me to get into Olympia. If not, if it's like this, maybe make the Rising Phoenix, points for next year, like with the Muscle Fest that's coming up in about a couple of months. And I think she'll probably love doing the Rising Phoenix. She lives in California. She lives in California. Arizona's not that far. That's hop, skip, and jump for her. Another lady who I'm a fan of, Miss Tamara Makar. Jared's a fan of her also. That's why I say I'm hoping Jared will come on and he can tell me who he likes. And I know most if I put her on the list, he likes her. So Miss Makar, she would have, because Miss Makar already had points. I think she took third at the New York Pro. And I think I gave her a few points. I'm trying to remember. Jared knows what it was. He would tell me, but he's not here today. I hate playing solo, but I get used to it. But she would have qualified for the if she just the point she had, if she could made the top three at that show, then she was in. But we all know this show was about who was considered it's more of a popularity contest than anything. you know and it was just who was mostly Wing Strength ambassadors and all that, who was going to be at the show. Now, there's some ladies that if it's not on my list, I felt like it should have got opportunity to compete this show. Because like I said, some ladies had to couldn't make it because either they live on the other side of the world or just for other reasons. I'm not gonna drop some names if I may. I think Miss Shannon Rayburn Perkins. We've been talking with her over the weekend. I'd like to get a chance to get an interview with her. She's from my next door neighbor of South Carolina. She could have been invited. She took sixth at the Linda Norfolk and fifth at the Linda Savannah. And I think this would have been a great opportunity for her. Maybe even making top five. And maybe get enough points maybe for qualification for next year. So I would say she should have been invited. Because like I said, with Jay, she's not gonna come over here. Now Julia Ferry was already over here. They could have set her up, here somewhere in the United States. I remember they used to play the thing called Muscle Mansion. Like it used to be part of the Wings of Strength, where they had the Rising Phoenix, where they got all of the competitors and get them in a nice little mansion together, and get ready for the show. But now with the things going on and yada 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 yada, so they're not going to do that anymore. But that would have been a great way for a lot of competitors who didn't want to go back, set them up in a nice mansion. They could full pay for it. Set them from a nice mansion, especially if they're Wing Strength ambassadors. So especially if they're overseas and Wing Strength ambassadors, set them up in a muscle mansion. You can do, if they want to talk to their trainers like that, they can do by video, by audio, by virtual remote. They can go online. I mean, that'd be great for them. They have to go back. They come here and do the quarantine. Don't have to go all the way back and come back again. They sit here, wait for do a couple of shows while they're here. Now, another lady, I think probably would have made a possibility if get invited is Miss Brittany Larson. She done 2 shows in Chicago and she did the Tampa. And I think it was a great opportunity for her. Just switching from women's physique to women's bodybuilding. I think she should get an opportunity to compete. Um, Most definitely, Pauline Nelson. She has done two in her career, two Rising Phoenix shows, and it was great to see her come back. She did Tampa, but she wasn't able to qualify because of one unknown reason she had to drop out. And she did the Savannah show, but she didn't make the top 10. It's kind of disappointing. I like she's a beautiful woman, great female bodybuilder. And I think let me see one thing. Lisa Cross. I love to see Lisa Cross come back. It's been almost 2 or 3 years since she last competed at the Rising Phoenix. I follow Lisa on social media, and she looks buff. She looks huge. She looks amazing. But like I said, it's quarantine. You got to quarantine before you come in, and that's just how it is. It's not fair. This virus has messed up everything. If a lot of these ladies, like I said, can jump on a plane and make it, and that's it. Also, one more lady, I think this is gonna be one lady I'm gonna say, if you agree with me, good. If you don't. You know, I would say I would invite. Let's see. I'm gotta. I want to be particular, because this is gonna be a qualifier, and let's see. I think I would invite. Um, Let me get right. Um, well, I'm surprised she didn't come. And that is Susanna Jacobs. I wouldn't, Susan, I'm surprised Susanna Jacobs, because if you follow the Winter Stream, she's been leading on their board. She's winning shows. She's winning the video specials they do every week. And they're done now because they had the last one about a week ago, I believe, and the video special done. She was for the first few months, she was winning those video shows where they had the competition for the best body part, whatever, and she was winning. And she's a Winter Stream ambassador, and she also is a former Miss International. She has competed at the Miss International at the Rise of Phoenix before. So I'm surprised that she didn't get an invite to the Rise of Phoenix, but I think she took a step back because after her poor performance at the Puerto Rico Pro and also at the Linda Murray Norfolk Pro, I think she had to take a step back. So I think that's about it. If, like I said, if you're watching this video, later on, put in the comment section if you truly follow female bodybuilding, who would you rather see at the Rising Phoenix? Who feel like she had an opportunity to compete for a chance to compete at the Olympia? Who should maybe even get points for next year's Olympia? It's just, I feel like this was more about the Olympia champion, the Miss Olympia champions, and the ladies who won their shows by qualification, and the ladies that qualified by points, where they should have taken a step aside. And the thing is about money. It is about money. Because, as I said again, female bodies don't get paid a lot. They don't get paid a lot. And as you know, this show had, not counting the prize money, with $50,000 on a brand new car, had several other prizes. Irene Anderson won for most muscular. She got 12th place, even though she felt like she should have got better. But she still got most muscular. I think last time I remember it was like $75,000. Then all the other ladies, you had two other bonuses. You had best video and best poser, and that broke down to I think altogether in those two the prizes got to be at least nearly about $10,000 altogether, because they broke it down. I think you get 2, 3, and 1,000. Third place. First place gets 3,000. Second place gets 2, and 1,000 for third. And then same thing with best poser. First place gets 3, second place gets 2, and third gets 1. So but you gotta think about it. $3,000, depending if you got a cost of travel, your suits and everything, and that is really just not really much drop in a bucket. By the time you take that money and pay for, you're in the hole. You're really in the red. You just shaved off maybe ooh $1,000, so maybe a few $1,000 off of all your other costs. The fact in the $50,000, it really helps. But then you have a new car. You gotta, you got already, like I said, Iris already got a Corvette. Andrea already got a Corvette. Now she gets another Corvette, and we do that other Corvette. And what I think what the day they say they buy them off of the ladies and just like have it like a display at the at the at the Rising Phoenix office. I'm not sure. I think that's what I heard because I know Hella, she still has her car, the Hellcat, the Dodge Hellcat, but I think it took her one of her Jeeps, took the Jeep she had because the first 3 years it was a Jeep. Iris, I'm sorry, Iris, you know, Margie won two, then Hella won the one Jeep, and then you had I think Alina won a Corvette. Then Hella she won the Dodge Hellcat, and then you have now you have your, Andrea with both Corvettes, both different Corvettes. So that other Corvette, it costs too much to pay taxes on. She can't take off the Wings of Stream foam logo stuff off of it. So I think what to do was she, gives it back or sells it back. I think she sell it back. Get some money for your pocket. Sell it back to the Wings of Streams. They take it and they put it on display. I think at their office. It's gonna be hard. Even though if she does win the Olympia, that's another $50,000. That's probably carry tax on both cars, but to me, the Miss Olympia money should be higher, $100,000. That's fair. I know you're not gonna get the big money like Big Rami Gap, which is almost half a million, you know, but still, it's better than what they're getting now. Because like I know I was talking with my conversation with Miss Nancy Lewis, how it was 25,000, and back in the day, Miss Olympia used to get a lot more. I used to remember I was working. It was a really good thing how they showed the cost, the prices of each Miss Olympia got, like from Corey, from I think from to Rachel, to Corey, to Linda. When they had those three ladies champions, it's those four ladies. I forgot Carla Dunlap and how much the prize money was. And I think by the time of Linda's last Miss Olympia, her sixth Miss Olympia, she was already getting $75,000. That's pretty good, $75,000. You know, and back then the cost of living was high. That was like the uh, early '90s. You know, so that's good chunk of change. Yeah, wouldn't be much now. But like I said, $100,000 is good. After you pay taxes at that, you still have money in your pocket. I would say $150,000. But you know what? This is what I think. The sponsor shouldn't care where the money goes. They shouldn't care. But I think that's the thing is you could have, you could have took uh like maybe $100,000 off of Rami's check. Think about it. You can take $100,000 off of Rami's check. He still has $350,000. Break it down. Take $50,000 and give to Miss Olympia, and take the other $50,000 and spread it among, maybe more than that. You have to do more than that. So let's take $200,000 off of Rami, or $150,000 off of Rami. He'll still have $300,000. You take $100,000 of that, and you break it along to the Miss Olympias. You take $50,000 to give to Andrea. Now you have the other $50,000. You break it for the other 4 days. So I think 25,000. You give you give $50,000 to Margie. So you still get another $25,000. You take 10. You add it to Hella's money. So that is $15,000. So you take that, you cut it in half, and you take it. That's about $12,000. So you take and you give add another 10 to the fourth place, and take the other, 10 and 12. We break that up. You give it to fourth and fifth. I mean, actually, two, like I said, yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Let me do this right. Okay, so you take $150,000 for the Miss Olympia. You take that from for Big Ramy. Take $50,000, give it to automatically to add it to Andrea's $50,000. Then you have the other, um, you have other money. Say you take $100,000 from Big Ramy. You actually say you're taking two. I say $150,000 from Big Ramy, and you take the other $50,000 and you spread it among the other classes. You know, so like take a uh, 2,000 for here and give it to, take like a 10,000 from take it like break the 10,000 dollars a piece among the other classes. You know, we might have to do a little more. I mean, I figured it out down the road. I'm just talking, but I think if it's fair, that'd be fair. You know, take and break that money up and give it, like I said, give to all the competitors that earned it. They deserve a little more because they work as hard, sweat as hard. Even men's physique don't make as much money compared to men's bodybuilding. And the idea of men's classic physique was to go the throwback of the classic physiques of Frank Zane's and Franco Columbus and Sergio Oliveira, those guys. But they don't get that much money. So this is why I talk about that. The Rising Phoenix should be more inclusive, not exclusive. That none of the ladies who already earned their qualification in Olympia should be there. They already earned. I'm not saying that they want to compete to make some money, but you're getting in the way of people who want to opportunity to make the Olympia. Some ladies are right now home. They're still working out, but they're just not working out as hard. They're enjoying real food, and then they'll probably start their prep after the Olympia. Because they want to really be in better condition. Because there's not too many shows for female bodybuilding until about May. It used to be it was about June, but then you had, thank goodness for Beth Francis for letting female bodybuilding come back to the New York Pro, and that show was in May. But let's have another show or two shows. Recently, I was on IG and I saw Tim Gardner. He spotted a show in San Antonio. And Texas, I said again, Texas is becoming a mecca for bodybuilding. A lot of bodybuilders live there. A lot of ladies I follow who live there. Mila Ash, who's the number 4 competitor for the Olympia. My dear friend Miss Brittany Brooks. My new friend Miss Jamie Savage. There's several women who are in the sport of bodybuilding. The bodybuilding community is growing in Texas. So I was saying that before. I said that there should be a women's bodybuilding show, open show in Texas, so San Antonio. Why not? It can be considered next year points qualifier. Whoever wins competes at the next year's Olympia, and those who make the top, I think 3 or 4, top 5, it's points for them to help out for next year's show. And also, this is a show that they should bring back, and that's the Hawaiian Pro. Back in 2017, Puerto Rico was hit by Hurricane Maria, and the Puerto Rico Pro used to be in Puerto Rico. They didn't have this is the last 3 years. The Puerto Rico Pro has not been I think it hasn't been in Olympia since Puerto Rico Pro hasn't been in Puerto Rico in the last couple of years. It wasn't in because in 2017 you couldn't have it in Puerto Rico, so they had it in Hawaii, and they had it again in 2018 in Hawaii because they're still fixing it with Puerto Rico. And I think they only actually had it back in 2019 back in Puerto Rico, but in 2020 they didn't have Puerto Rico Pro, and 2021 they had it in the Bahamas. So let's do Hawaii. Hawaii is a beautiful island. The weather is perfect year long. No, other than maybe hurricanes that come through that's doing certain in the season, But you can have it. Let's do it like like remember Mrs. National was part of Schwarzenegger was in March. The Arnold Schwarzenegger used to be in March, but now they moved it I think to December. I said December, November, and yeah, they moved it. But let's go back. Let's have it in March. You know, let it be the first. The Hawaiian Pro will be the first bodybuilding show in March. You know, ladies, I was like this: start your prep in October, and then by the time March will go around, you'll be ready. The New York Pro, some ladies, like especially Madonna Day, I hate to point that, but it's true, were not in the best condition. But that's why I think you should start your prep in October and focus on a show let's like I said, Winter Strength, Tim Gardner or whatever promoter should have a show in Hawaii. And also you have have the this if you have like this like I said the Toronto that's the San Antonio Pro is this week. So next year, I know Jake can talk to Tim, and him and Tim are cool. He says that he can suggest him, hey, Tim, why not we have women's open at the Toronto? I mean, I'm saying at the San Antonio. You know, so and he said it could be qualification for next year's. How about that? And I think some ladies like it, especially some women who live in Texas, such as Jamie Savage. I don't think Mila Ash, how she did at the Rising Phoenix. I think Mila Ash needs a show for herself. Jenna Beverly would love that show because I know she talks. So she lived in Texas for a while, and she's thinking about she might want to go back. And like I said, they have a great community. And other competitors who are bodybuilders who are in Texas, it's a great place for them because they don't have to go too far. They might do a show like Savannah, Georgia's not that far. It's not too far from Texas, or the Omaha, right? Omaha's in Nebraska. Never mind. I was thinking Oklahoma. So yeah, I got to learn my states. But like I said, that is a great idea. Add women's open bodybuilding to the San Antonio show, or also have another show in Texas if you like. I think I mentioned before. You can have a show in you get a show where it might be cheaper for you to do it, where it don't cost as much because for the venue. Maybe not Dallas, not Houston, maybe not San Antonio, maybe Austin, but it's also Lubbock, Texas, Arlington, Victoria, Texas, that's where Stone Cold Steve Austin's from, or Galveston. That would be those cities are not as big name as compared to Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. Austin's a big name because Austin's a very popular city. And we call it the Blue City, and it's they do music. They have music venues a lot, and concerts. Austin City Limits. But it's up to Winter Strength. It's up to Jake Woods. It's up to Tim Gardner. It's up to anybody else what to do. And I remember some lady told me that it takes so much if you can even put on your own bodybuilding show. There's a couple of organizations that this guy named Gary Udit. He does the North American and he does the Pittsburgh Pro Masters. The thing is, those shows are not qualification. This is why I'm going to say it again. Those shows should be qualification. To Jake Wood, add women's classic or women's masters to try to you can do it. You got the muscle, you got the money. Get these opportunities for these women who are 40, 50 plus, who are the ones who can still stand shoulder to shoulder to the much younger, most massive women, who have just a size, better conditioning, better definition. Great. But those women who have a hard time with that, give them an alternative. They can double dip. I know Miss Tracy Rugged. She did both the women's physique show and the women's physique 40 plus. So why not? Some competitors can double dip, especially the ones that they know they didn't do too well in the open show, so they had this opportunity. And also put some money in these pockets. I remember Mary Ann told me that she only got $200 for her show at the Pittsburgh Pro Master, and that's not much. That's not even drop. That's not even enough to pay maybe just your motel bill, and after that you just really completely in the red. So, like I said, make these master shows Olympia qualifiers. You can add it on to you. You got to think about Olympia week big. It's 4 days. They already got the pro shows. Then you have all the other divisions there. You have the pro ams and the amateur shows because there's the Olympia amateur. So you can stuff, the master show right there somewhere. Because I know they're probably gonna do they had the you probably did the same thing with what they did with Tampa. They had the women's 40 plus. You put women's masters right into the Olympia. There used to be a Olympia Mr. Olympia Masters back in the day. Well, I appreciate you people coming through and listen to me just talk your ear off. I miss my partner. He might be doing something else. We're planning on doing some more stuff later on. As you know, there's not too many shows left of the season. We had the Olympia coming in about 2 more weeks, actually 3 more weeks. Yeah, 3 more weeks. And there's well, I'm not gonna do the Arnold because, like I said, Arnold don't have anybody been attached to it. I would do it, depending who's the physique competitor there that I recognize. I might do it, but because they don't have female body anymore, I don't think so. Then I think the show at the Valhalla. I think it has women's open, so I might do that show. And most definitely I'm gonna do the Muscle Fest show because that is women's body attached to it. And there's a possibility in December we have the Toronto Pro. We got to keep our fingers crossed because things are crazy in Canada. They're not crazy, but like I said, Canada is one of those countries they really want to protect the people. I've seen people talking about, they want to mask it, but you got to think is you ask your government to do something when a situation like this happens. Don't get mad about it. You want to because you know what I'm going to do. I can't do nothing. I'm just one person. Let's see what my government do. And you don't like what the government does, then there's no point for you getting mad. Sometimes the government got to protect people from themselves. People are too stupid not to want to get protected. But like I said, that's gonna be 4 shows after the Olympia. One, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna count because it says Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't have female bodybuilding. The Valhalla show, it might. I know most of it Muscle Fest does, and I know most Fest in Toronto does. So we would talk about those shows. But the rest of the week, and maybe for a while, we're gonna talk about stuff off the cuff. We'll start about other subjects. But the fact is, with the shows over and no other shows going on for the winter, we gotta talk about something. We might even do a recap of something. I might even do more. I'm gonna try to see if I can get more ladies to come on and do interviews on MuscleTalk Monday. Because sometimes I do more interviews in the weekend, in the middle of the week. But I guess the ladies come on MuscleTalk Monday. That will help out. Give my show some stuff to talk about. So anyway, I know I just spent a lot of your time and. That's like maybe about an hour out of your life, but I appreciate your time and appreciate the time you put out of your life. So I'd like to say thank you to my sister, Miss Fishiana, my brother, Marcus Bell, to fourth quarter and talk. Yeah, have a great evening to you, Miss Fishiana. I appreciate you for staying around. Really, I do. I really do. Because I appreciate, even though if I have 1 or 2 people to listen, that's enough for me. I would love to have a lot more people, but I know my channel is small. And and I'll talk about what people want to listen to, but I talk about what I know what I want to talk about. And if you are true fans of women bodybuilding, support these ladies. Reach them out on social media. Be kind, be friendly. Don't be weird. Don't send the D pics like I tell y'all oftentimes. These ladies can use your support. If you can't support them financially, support them emotionally. Sometimes, like we did on Sunday, we had to talk about, I'll keep pushing, and I appreciate you, baby. I'm keep pushing for you. Keep on pushing. That's what she said. But anyway, if you can't support these ladies financially, support them emotionally. Be kind, be nice. Tell them, good things. Because they need this. Because, like I said, this sport can be aware on somebody's psychology. As we talked about Sunday on our Muscle Talk. Our Sunday discussion. We talked about the mental health of these ladies in this sport. And it is a tough sport to keep your mind in and keep yourself going, and don't get the respect and the privilege of their male counterparts, because there are women who are changing their physiques to a more masculine stance. But it's still A woman is a woman. Is still always beautiful. Even the ugliest ham looking chick can be beautiful inside. She has a beautiful personality. I know somebody can say, hey, a beautiful personality is not enough, but I know some dudes been with women that look like they should be, uh, um, I don't know, should be an extra in The Walking Dead, but they love her. They love her. And these ladies have people that love them. They have wives, they have girlfriends, they have, you know, they have husbands, they have, boyfriends, they have children. These women have those people who love them. But also, us as the fans should let them know we love them too. And we support what they're doing and respect what they're doing. They are athletes. They may not like the people you see, like they may not be uh, Dante Wilders, it may not be um, LeBron James, it may not be Serena Williams, it may not be Simone Biles, but they are athletes and elite athletes. And they do just as work just as hard as the male counterparts. But they just want us to recognize and respect their commitment to the sport and their passion. That's why I do this, to call attention to that. You know. So anyway, I'd like to thank again. I'd like to thank everybody that came through. My sister Miss Fishiana, uh, you know, Marcus Bell, and also fourth and quarter. If you got any, brother, anytime you get a chance to, if you are a true female bodybuilding fan, a true fan of bodybuilding, period. If you want to come on, send me a link. Send me an email. And I'll send you a link one day and we can talk it up. Because we had Jerry here. Yeah. But like I said, I'd like to thank all of y'all. You know, and I'd like to thank y'all for supporting my channel, supporting my content. I'm already at 550 subscribers. Maybe by the time this year ends, I'm at 600, and that's almost 400 away from 1,000. And if I get monetized, it'd be great. If I don't, that's fine. I'm just doing this for y'all and for my fans and my subscribers and who really like my content. I really appreciate you and everything else you do for me. So anyway, this is me always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Vitamin Talk. Don't like, subscribe, I'm out.